I used to be the type of person that would put off what I wanted to do because other people were not interested in it. I would not suggest something to my partner because they would think it's weird. I would not run a 10K women's race because I didn't have friends that was on that same health journey until I was like, wait, am I putting off the things that I truly want to do that's going to bring me joy because of other people? Hell freaking no. And that's when my solo dating started. Hi everyone, welcome back to a new episode of the Next Level podcast, or welcome to this space on the internet. I'm your host, Insaaf, and I'm so excited to chat to you today about solo dating and my solo dating journey. So without further ado, let's get into this week's podcast episode. Solo dating is the practice of treating yourself to experiences typically reserved for romantic outings. It's about prioritizing your own company and learning to enjoy life without relying on others' validation and happiness. Okay, what happened was late in 2003, I think I watched a YouTube video and I discovered this like solo dating. I saw a girl on YouTube take herself to, I think it was a lake. She woke up super early. She went to this lake on her bicycle. She had a book, she packed snacks, and it just looked so peaceful. Like she was by herself, she was making the decisions for herself. And I thought, like, is that something that I could do? And then I was telling my friends about it. I was like, in 2024, I want to do more solo dating. And they were very confused. They were like, why would you want to do things alone? They would want to do things with their partner. And I thought to myself, should I try to like explain this to this person? And should I try to convince them as to why it is a good idea and why everyone should do it? I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. How could they possibly understand this when it is my vision? And sometimes like you try to explain something to someone and it's just not their time. Okay, there's a lot of things that I like back in the day. If someone had maybe tried to explain this concept to me, I would have been like, hell no, that is so scary. But maybe this is your time. Maybe you clicked on this video because this is your time. All right, so I'm going to share with you some of the solo dating activities that I have done in 2024. So solo dating might sound scary. It might sound weird to go alone to a place, but I promise you, one of the things that I've learned is that people are not like watching you, or not like thinking about you as much as you think that they are. And there may be some instances where you are already solo dating. Are you going to the gym by yourself? Are you doing your nails by yourself? Are you going on a walk by yourself? Are you going to the mall by yourself? Those are aspects of solo dating. Maybe you just have not put that much intention into it. So let's get into the top things that I've done in 2024 to go on my solo journey, to build my confidence, to build my self-love ultimately. So these are the things. The first thing that I did was going on walks by myself. That is something, again, that I was doing naturally. Then I would also go to the sushi restaurant by myself. I mentioned it in previous episodes. Every single Wednesday, I would go to this restaurant. It's a massive restaurant. I'd typically be the only person there, and I loved it. I was like, you know, like celebrities would like rent out the entire restaurant. Like I was doing the same thing, just I was not paying for it, but I was getting an entire restaurant for myself, and I didn't need anyone else to do it for me. I was doing it for myself. There's really something about doing things like for yourself that really upgrades your standards. The next thing I did was go to the movies by myself. Oh my gosh, I went to go watch the Barbie movie by myself, and standing in that line, the movie just released. I was standing in a line by myself while everyone else was standing with their friends. I thought that everyone was thinking that I was weird because I was alone. Newsflash, no one was thinking about me. No one was even looking at me because they were too excited. And when I got into the movie, I sat obviously by myself and I laughed. I had the best time. I visited the Zuidsmarker Museum in Cape Town. I love this museum. I visited it by myself in 2024, and I even went to the restaurant. I had some hot chocolate. I read a book at the restaurant. I went to a lipstick workshop by myself as well. I ran my first 10K. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I wanted to do my first 10K in this women's race, and I had no friends that was on this journey with me. The next year, I just decided I'm going to do it by myself. I went to 3 silent disco events. So when I was younger, I went to the silent disco event with a friend, and I had like the absolute best time, and I've been wanting to go ever since. And then I would ask my partner, I would ask my friends, I would just like ask anyone that I knew would they be interested in this? And no one was really interested in it. People thought it was weird. And then one morning at like 6:30 a.m., I saw an ad for silent disco happening at 7, and I booked my ticket and I went to the beach and I had the best time. I had so much fun that I literally cried. And you know why I cried? I cried because like there is a level of gratitude when you do something for yourself that you have been longing to do. When you finally do it, there's a level of gratitude inside of you that makes you so emotional that is unmatched. No one can give that feeling to you. And then I went to 2 more after that. When I do like a major speaking event, you are so hyped up from that event. By the time I'd get home, I would go to a restaurant by myself and have hot chocolate and kind of just journal and debrief as to what had happened for that day, because quiet time is so important to me. Then I also stayed in a hotel room by myself. Oh my gosh, it was like my first time in 2024 staying in a hotel room by myself. I ordered room service just because like I needed to experience that. It was like the best experience. I did struggle to fall asleep the first night, but quickly I got used to my own company. Then the major thing that I did was every week I was going on a solo date, prioritizing myself. And then it just made sense for me to book a solo international trip. So I went to Paris, New York, and Amsterdam by myself. So in Paris, I booked my own hotel. I had to travel to my hotel taking 3 trains by myself. In New York, it was for an event, for the Tony Robbins event. So I booked to stay with like 6 other girls. So that was really fun. And then I also did a New York tour on my own. I booked my own tour with a tour guide. And then in Amsterdam, I also stayed in a hotel room by myself as well, which was just so much fun. In Paris, I visited the Louvre. I saw the Eiffel Tower. I went to catch the sunrise at the most beautiful view, looking at the Eiffel Tower. I could do what I wanted to do. I went strawberry picking. So late 2024, I decided to make this list of things that I want to do. And one of those were to go strawberry picking again by myself. Usually this is an activity that I would do with my family or with friends. Then I would typically visit the cheetah sanctuary regularly. So this is really close to my house. On Saturday mornings, I would wake up early and then I'd just go to this cheetah sanctuary, spend about like 15 to 20 minutes there walking around looking at the cheetahs. And then I also had like a beach morning where I went to the beach, put on my yoga mat, sat there without a book, nothing, just laid, soaked up the sun, people watched, and just enjoyed the views. And that is basically all the things that I did in 2024 for my solo dating journey. So let's get into what are the things that I've learned from this experience. Okay, so the first things that I learned is that people are so much more kinder to you when you are by yourself. Like people compliment you, people will give you free things, like people give you so much of their time when you are by yourself. It is like a mind-blowing experience. The French treated me so well. Oh my gosh, people usually say like not so great things when you are unable to speak French, but they treated me. Then the second thing that I learned was that you get to do what you want to do. You don't have to think about other people's opinions, other people's feelings, other people's preferences. It is all about what you want to do. The next thing I learned is that time moves slower. It is like a mind-blowing thing, but time moves slower is because you are so present. I had a very short layover in Paris, and I think I had about like 6 hours, and I visited the Louvre, the Eiffel Tower. I went to Galleries Lafayette, walk in the gardens, got lost a few times. I went for coffee, I had lunch, I traveled via the train several times. All of this, I think, in like a period of 6 hours or less. I definitely think it was less. When you are present, you just like, you experience everything so much better. The next thing I learned is that you learn so much about yourself. You learn about the things that you like, the things that you don't like, your preferences, and how long you're willing to engage with some things, and how fast like you can move on. You have to experience it if you haven't yet. The next thing I learned is that prioritizing a relationship with yourself is one of the most important things, because when you realize like your preferences, when you give yourself that level of attention, that level of finance you may have to spend on some things, your standards grow so much that you will never ever accept mediocre again in life. I can guarantee you your standards are going to change. They are going to increase because you've already given this high level to yourself that you are not going to accept anything less. You've been buying yourself flowers every single week. When you get into a relationship, when you are with a partner that says like, oh, I'll only buy you flowers like once a month. It's like, what do you mean? I've been doing it for myself every week. What do you mean once a month? Like, keep your flowers. When someone cannot give you time, you're like, you can keep your time because I've been giving it to myself anyway. I know it can seem like a level of cockiness, but it really is not. It's just a standard. It's just your standard that will increase. And you know what? You will end up attracting people that has the same standard as well. The same standard or higher. That is the type of people that you are going to attract. If there are going to be people in your life that's going to say like, oh, you are so high maintenance, this person is not for you. Someone that thinks that you are high maintenance is not for you because obviously their standards are low. You will end up attracting people that are the same standard or a higher standard because your level of like maintenance will just be seen as normal life to them. And then the last thing is that the level of gratitude when you do something for yourself is unmatched. It is an emotional experience that only you can experience it. Like the more I try to describe it, it's not going to come true for you. So I would suggest you think about like what is that one thing that you've been putting off, and to finally go ahead and do it, to book it, to schedule it, to save towards it. Like what is that action step that you can take today towards your solo dating journey? If you think it is weird, like it's okay. Like if you are scared, like it's okay. The most amazing thing about like doing things that you are fearful about is that once you do it, you realize that like there was actually nothing to be scared about. And people like admire you. I can see like when I am in a restaurant by myself, like people looking, I'm like, oh, they're probably admiring me. So I think it really is in your mind as well what you are thinking. But then again, like I said, people are not thinking about you as much as you think that they are. So I would suggest that you do plan a special day, a special morning, a special moment for yourself. And this is really going to help you cultivate confidence. It's going to help you raise your standards and ultimately like just improve your self-love. All right, this is it from me. Thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast episode. If you enjoyed it, please let me know and share it with someone that you think it might help. All right, until next time, bye.